Hi, welcome to Mental Override. My name is Adam, and I am here to help you learn how to overcome fear and live intentionally. So, today is our first time. I decided to go a full live stream, no testing, just hoping everything works out good. I hope you all can hear me. I hope you can all see this. It's just fully live, diving right in, trying to do something I've never done to overcome my fears and live intentionally. And let me tell you, I was a little nervous about doing this. I was challenged to do this by my friend Coach Greg over at the Results Kill Excuses channel. If you are dealing with any sort of trauma, spiritual healing, childhood trauma, Greg is the man. He is my coach and has helped me on my journey. So, YouTube Live, number one, thank you for the 50 subscriptions. I had to get to 50 before I could do this on my phone. I was really excited that, after months of doing this, we were able to hit that. Part of me says it's just a number, but it seems like it's real people. It's people who are interested in the content that I'm bringing to you guys. So thank you for everyone who's subscribed and following, and I hope you're enjoying the content. I hope that what I'm bringing to you is value. I hope that it is different than what you get on TikTok or the doom scrolling reel of people doing silly dances and people just making up content for the sake of content. There's a lot of content that you can choose to watch on the internet, a lot of things that you can fill your mind with. And one of the attempts for me has been to fill my YouTube stream with people and content that is helping me propel towards the life that I want to have, living the way I want to live and becoming the person that I want to become. So all of the things that we consume are going to support that. Secondly, I just want to thank my family. I want to thank my wife and kids and my oldest son, Mr. Chase. Thank you for giving me the idea of having a hot tub before I started this live. He saw that I was a bit nervous, had a little bit of anxiety, and he said, Dad, I want to tell you what I think. And he said, just have a little hot tub, change your state before you go and do this. And I was sitting on the hot tub right now, and we're out in the garage where we keep all our pictures. There's a whole bunch in here of our family biking and a number of the races that I've done out here that are here to inspire us and remind us of all of the good memories that we've created in our life through biking. So I'm just going to do a quick little check here on some of the settings to make sure everything's working. There's an unmute, so hopefully that works good. Check some of the other settings. I guess we could have done a test one, but we wanted to go right in live here and show you guys the raw, unfiltered version of humanity attempting to overcome fear in real time, doing it live. So just looking at the comments, looks like I got a comment section over here. I can see our chat and our leaderboard. So if you have a question, obviously throw something in the chat there. If you're watching, appreciate that. So a few things I wanted to go over. I made a few little notes in my book. If you don't have a journal, everyone needs a journal. I'm all about journaling. So kind of what is mental override? Man, I've been thinking about this question a lot, and there's kind of different ways to describe it. And for me, I describe mental override as choosing deliberate actions, choosing a deliberate outcome, and making steps towards that outcome in spite of your fear, in spite of your circumstances, and in spite of your environment. These are kind of all the things that will affect us when we're having fear. There's going to be emotional fear. There's going to be environmental influence. There could be physical limitations, all sorts of things that stop us from overcoming fear. And why mental override? Well, it kind of came to me through bikes. The whole idea of mental override being with mountain biking is, for me, mountain biking, it's a long journey and it's a long story, and that'll be another live. the whole ordeal. But mountain biking itself is small acts. It's small, deliberate acts of overcoming fear. A lot of times I would, I started out as a cross country biker in Saskatchewan, Canada. And from that, when I came to Alberta, I started to get into downhill. So I've been downhilling for well over a decade now. And it was these steep hills where you just had to let off the brakes and kind of go over that hill and trust yourself. And trust yourself to make it, to not crash, to not lock up with the fear. And mountain biking, every time I ride, I find that there's a little jib, a little shroud, a little fishtail, something that can challenge me. Sometimes it's a Strava segment that I want to just sprint and go hard and challenge myself to do. So the theme of mental override, a lot of it stems from my experience in mountain biking and the challenges that it constantly gives me. The history of mountain biking for me, the quick and short of it is I encountered a number of injuries through my career in the military that left me with a number of disabilities and multiple surgeries. And for a long period, I really struggled to walk, and biking has been my answer to that. There's a lot of things I used to do, and now my main sport, the main thing I can do is riding the bike. The walking is still quite difficult with my injuries. But the mountain biking, I ended up founding the Red Deer Mountain Bike Club. It was the Alberta Downhill Enduro Club, and it's now been renamed to the Red Deer Mountain Bike Association. So 5 of us took 100 acres of land and 10 kilometers of trail that pre-existed here in Red Deer. And it was designated as a mountain bike park, but it was just kind of trails, and it had gotten all decrepit. So we organized, formalized, and we rebuilt this entire mountain bike park. So for 8 years, or 7 years, I was the president, and my last year I was the trail director. So I had a lot of experience in building trails, doing signage, insurance, all those kind of things as a volunteer. And it was a way to give back to my community and increase and build my backyard and make it better. So there was a lot of challenges that I overcame and had to go through, and adversity in organizing that club, running that club. We host a race there every year. It's the Red Deer Lung Buster. And there we lost it. This Lung Buster, it's a chip-timed mini enduro that we do. And so that's something we've had, I think, four years of that. And then myself, I've been racing, and I've been racing the Canada Cup for the last 4 or 5 years. In 2023, I was UCI Masters Men champ in Golden, BC. I came in first place, and then in nationals, I came in second place. So that was a good year. Last year, I did all right. I did end up snapping my crank arm off on my race run in Golden. That's my favorite place to ride and to learn. So I was a little choked on that one. Came in fourth place. And then this year, I was sponsored by Red's Bike, our local bike shop here in town. So big shout out to Don out at Red's Bike. He hooked me up with a new 2024 Giant Glory. So I was racing on that bike. And then I had a pro sponsorship from We Are One with the pro deal. And so I was running the We Are One Strife Composites. So they were helping me out as well. And then obviously my family, they came along and they were able to ride with me at the races and the different tracks that we had. So as you can see, mountain biking is a huge part of my life, but there's so much more that we can discuss. What else did I want to talk about today? I just wanted to be raw with you and just kind of share my humanity. One of the reasons I was doing this channel is that I had a carpentry business for about 15 years. I did 4 years as a trained journeyman doing my apprenticeship, and then started my own business around that 2006 era. And then I was in the military. I was in the infantry as a sergeant in the Canadian Forces. And with my injuries, I got medically released from the military, and then I ended up closing down my business due to my physical limitations. It's amazing that I can still mountain bike, but there are some days where I can't even walk. It's on and off sometimes, and that's another talk we can get into. But what this has done, these experiences that I've had through my life, have taught me how to overcome fear, how to work through my pain, how to act in spite of pain, in spite of fear, in spite of difficulties, and to really get intentional about what my life's about. I've had many near-death experiences. I've been in and out of the hospital, I don't know, more times than I can count. And you'll hear a lot of my talks about health and fitness, how it is so important, how your health and fitness is determines the quality of every area of your life. So after leaving the military, I went back to school and I did a master's degree. It was a master's in leadership from Royal Roads University. It's a Master of Arts. And the greatest part about that is when I did my thesis, which was an engaged learning project, I did it on sustainable trail development within the city of Red Deer. We had a lot of road trails that some were valid, some weren't, and the study looked at how to legitimize these trails and how to make it so our bike park lasted, so that it was built, not bought, so that it felt like there was stewardship and buy-in and ownership from the community. So that's kind of the intro I wanted to do, give you guys a little bit of the mountain bike background, my mountain bike background. I love racing. I love riding. I was doing the Canadian Enduro League. I was able to podium down in Cypress Hills. I got second place there. My first Enduro. Bring that back. Bring it back, guys. If you can bring back the Canadian Enduro League, that was so much fun. And now that we have our mini race here, also Baseline Mountain is one of our local hills where a lot of guys ride. A lot of good people out there. A lot of good people in our club. A lot of good people volunteering and taking over the trails here in town. But mental override, a lot of this stems from my personal challenges and from my military career. There's a lot of hard things you learn how to do in the military, whether it's firing a machine gun, doing first aid. I was a trained mountaineer within the military, so learning high angle rescue, climbing mountains, rappelling, using all the gear. I've sport climbed and trad climbed most of my life. So a lot of that has to do with discipline, focus, overcoming fear, using your abilities, being confident in those. So a lot of that I want to bring to the channel. And finally is my experience. The part of this channel, I wanted to share with a lot of people how I got intentional about my life. For the last 10 years, I've tried to focus on deliberately each area of my life and create intention in those areas. And I found that when I had a vision, when I had focus, I was able to have the life I want. And I talk about what abundance is. I talk about what I think true wealth is. And I think real wealth is an abundance of whatever you intend to have. So many people are chasing the bag. You know, in Central Alberta, I see people buying things they don't need to impress people they don't know, with time they'll never get back, with money they don't have, going into debt, doing the hustle and grind, and just being a product of their environment, a product of their culturescape, being programmed by their cell phones, being programmed by society itself, and then they end up in places that they don't want to be. They end up unhappy, they end up depressed, they end up in a lot of debt, and they end up trapped by that debt, and it consumes people, and a lot of times there's not much they can do. So just checking the comments here. There we go. And so when people get trapped, I find it's because of a lack of intention. I think that television pulls our focus away, our cell phones pull our focus away, and they cause people to want things that they never really thought they wanted, to work for things to impress other people. and they can really miss out on the fullness of life. So, and for me, the fullness of life came when I chose to get deliberate. And after doing these things, with construction and military, um, I wanted to get into coaching. I wanted to start sharing my message and helping other people, and I started kind of doing that casually on the side with different people. Um, and I found I saw real results with people. So I wanted to step this up and start to create something where I could find my voice and share my message with everyone. Um, I felt it was the next evolution in the intentional life for me. It was the next evolution in living out my truths and sharing my truth with people and sharing the things I've learned through my pain. So if you can take your pain and you can take your purpose and you can combine them, you can help heal other people from what you've healed from. And for me, a lot of it's been physical pain. For example, I had 3 surgeries on my throat. I had a rare bacteria infection 2 years ago that almost took me out after having my right hip replaced. So that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the surgeries themselves and the walking. And those challenges have given me a different perspective on life. It's made me conscious of my time. It's made me conscious of my health, my relationships, the people around me. I think we've all lost people. We've all lost people that we love around us. And that makes us conscious of our time. That makes us conscious of, am I living every day to the fullest? Because, one lesson is that down the road happiness is no guarantee. There's no guarantee that you're going to receive tomorrow, you're going to have next week. And so living as if every day matters is a concept that you hear about, but I believe I've found a way to do it. And I am trying to live that out and increase the fullness of that in every day. It really comes from a deliberate and intentional routine. It comes from minding my mornings, having a morning routine. You hear a million times about this online. Here's the morning routine. Here's the best morning routine. But you have to create one that works for you. You have to create the flavor and the recipe that works with your ingredients. See, everything has a recipe. There's a recipe for a great mountain bike day. There's a recipe for a fun weekend with your family. There's a recipe for romance with your partner. And if you figure out these recipes, you can continue to put in those ingredients and bake that cake per se whenever you choose. And deciding how you want your months to go comes from deciding how your days go. And then deciding how your seasons go comes deciding how your months go. And so these small acts of intention, these small acts of discipline help increase your capacity to overcome fear and have the life that you want to have. Now, I bet some of you are asking, oh, but Adam, but I've got bills to pay. I have to do this. I have to do that. I totally get it. There was years where I had to grind. I had to build my business. But I had a focus of what freedom looked like for me, what abundance looked like for me. And if you don't have that goal, you kind of don't know where to aim. You don't know where to put the effort and know when you're getting closer or farther from that goal. And for me, that goal was to be available with my time, to have more free time. It was to have financial freedom. It was to let my wife be a stay-at-home mom. My last video, I talked about the steps I had to do to increase my business and let my wife be, and empower my wife to be a stay-at-home mom. And for my kids even to be homeschooled so we could raise them with our values and the values we wanted to instill within them. So I know it takes a lot of work to do that. And not everyone has that opportunity. But if you can make choices now for what you intend to have, and you can change those intentions as you go, you have a better chance of that outcome before you enslave yourself in debt, before you do a 6, 8, 10-year degree and find out it's not what you want to do, before you have the wage slavery of having to work those 40 hours a week, to have the nice car, to have all these things. putting some reflection into the cost, the consequence of our decisions, and reflect on the intention is will help you have the life you want. And I think that fear is the number one thing that stops us from having that intention. We're afraid to go out on our own. I know I was working for people as a carpenter, and it was scary deciding, you know what, I'm always going to have a limited wage working for someone else. And if I don't become an entrepreneur, the sky is not the limit. There's a cap. There's a cap on what I'll be able to have and achieve in my life. There's a cap on who I'm going to become. I knew that opening my own business was going to expand my character. It was going to stretch me in ways, and it was a lot of days of grinding, a lot of days of sowing seeds that my future self was going to thank me for. It took hiring coaches. I've had mentors and coaches my whole life, whether they were business coaches, financial coaches, spiritual coaches, emotional coaches, psychologists. All of these people have been here to help me and help me get towards my goal. But it took an attitude of humility, and it took a key lesson from the military and our leadership principles in the Canadian Forces, and it was learn from experience and those who have it. If you can humble yourself enough, like Jordan Peterson says, to consider that everyone in the room has something to offer and to teach you, you can grow your character, because you learn the high-speed shortcuts. You learn from the failures and mistakes that other people had to make 100 times, and you don't have to make it once because you can learn from those experiences. So I know I'm kind of all over the place with this first live with the content, but I wanted to introduce myself and a bit of who I am. Some other experiences I've had in my life. I've played every sport under the sun. I grew up playing football, playing baseball, did tournaments in the US for hardball. Really enjoyed that as a kid. Was a Boy Scout for over a decade. Spent a lot of time in the bush. I'm an avid hunter. I love fishing. That's my zen is fishing. I do a lot of big game hunting. So this year I've got a number of tags, and I hope to do some lives or some videos just with a little bit of mental override for what it takes to go duck hunting and geese hunting here in Alberta. If you guys are interested in that, comment below. I would like to know if you'd be interested in that. I'd love to share some of my lessons I've learned doing that. I've worked with a rally team, basically functioning as a crew chief for this rally team, organizing things, helping fix the car. Did that for a number of years. I taught at a high performance driving school here in Alberta. Did a number of rallycross racing. So I've had experience in that. Rode motorbikes, been mountain climbing. Man, you name it. I've tried to experience all of the cereal boxes in the cereal aisle, which is the flavor of life. Traveled all over the world. I think it was 2012, 2013. Went to Buckingham Palace, got to meet the Queen there. They're just interesting things. Guess what? She's just a person like you and me. She carries a title, some land, and some wealth, or did. But it was quite an interesting experience to be there and go through Canada Gate and experience that. Did a battlefield tour is what that was about. I've had a number of life experiences. I'm married. I've got 2 young kids. So I've learned a lot about life in that regard. I've had a number of physical experiences. We've all experienced pain. For me, it's a level of chronic pain, severe chronic pain that's debilitating some days. So that has taught me a lot, and just want to kind of share what that's like with you guys. Travel, the mountain biking, love racing here in Western Canada. Love mountain biking all over Western Canada. Love building trails. Love being part of a club. So if you guys have any mountain bike questions, love talking about that. Talking to some friends about the possibility of hosting a clinic here in the spring for people who want to set up their mountain bikes and mountain bike tuning. I love the ins and outs and dissecting the geometry and tuning mountain bikes, so rather enjoy that. And then hopefully in the future have some opportunities for you guys, if the viewers, if you guys are interested in some one-on-one coaching. That's where this channel is kind of moving towards. But I want to just over deliver on value to you guys. And if you think that I have a shortcut for you, if you think that my life experience could help you, then that's what I want to provide. I want to provide the information, the knowledge, and the experience to you to help you out wherever it's at, to help you be intentional about the life that you want. What I'm not is I'm not a therapist. I'm not here to help you with your past or necessarily to solve relationship problems. I'm here to help you figure out the tools and methods to be intentional, to learn about discipline. You want to talk about military discipline, that's what it's all about, guys. It is all about discipline. It is all about learning the way to do something specifically, executing it, being laser focused, and delivering on that execution. And the military taught me a lot about that, and a lot about cleanliness. If you ever want to hire the best maids, the best cleaners in the world are ex-infantry guys, because let me tell you, when you come off basic, you are just Molly made like a ninja, and your attention to detail has developed phenomenally. So just checking my list here, want to make sure I got some thank yous to everyone again. Thanks to my family, thanks to my friends, those of you who ride with me on a weekly, monthly, sometimes yearly basis, all of you that are spending time, those of you communicating and watching the channel, watching the shorts and encouraging me, that it fills my heart, and couldn't do it without the support of all of you. Another shout out to Greg at Results Kill Excuses. Thank you for the coaching and for pushing me to do this tonight. We were going to try it yesterday and I had to wait 24 hours to do it on the phone. So I got the 24 hours in and then picked a time tonight here to do it. So thank you for the encouragement on that. My wife, in particular, for supporting me in all of this, being there for me, even just massaging my injuries the last few days. The weather's been changing and we've been feeling it, and she's really been caring for me and showing me love. So thank you, babe. Love you for that. And my son for the hot tub idea. Hope to do these lives. Haven't really figured out what the rhythm's going to be. Got to find a rhythm that delivers the best way possible to you guys. Say once every couple of weeks, maybe once a month, but this is our test run. So we're going to try this out, and then we'll go deeper dives. I feel like some of the videos that are, that 12 to 13 minute just don't have the depth in things. I'd love to talk about how I started a mountain bike club, how we built a mountain bike park from the ground up in a city. Our club can build whatever we want, guys. We insure it. I guess there's some limits on to what we can build, but we found a way to do that, and there's ways I can help other people with that. I've built an intentional life for myself. I feel like I am living my dream life. I'm living my highest life and becoming my highest self. That's been a journey. There's a lot that we can go through there. There's a lot of pain I've experienced, physical pain, mental pain. I got videos of after my hip replaced in the garage here on my roller bike, just seeing if I could make it to 20 minutes on the trainer. 20 minutes on the trainer. Couldn't even sit down or touch my toes, but could slowly get on the bike and rebuild that strength, and then go on to win in 2023. So if you find value in this, thank you for sitting through it. I was going to cut it at about a half hour here. Thank you for sharing this journey with me. I hope this kind of gives you a little intro into who I am, not as a look what I can do, but just kind of show you the different life experience that I've had in starting my own business, raising a family, being in the military, racing mountain bikes, hunting, fishing, mountain climbing. You name it, I've tried to try it, and I've tried to have my hand in that, and I've failed in so many ways and had to pick myself up, try again, and keep on going. And I know that it's hard nowadays. A lot of people are struggling, and we want to break free from that struggle. Minimalism has been one of the best things ever. It's not what you own, it's what owns you. And it's about having the right things. It's about having the things that enhance your life, having more with less. Even right now in the fall, I'm trying to do another purge, trying to get rid of the things that just aren't serving me anymore. And one of the ways I came to doing this live, was to get rid of video games. Man, I grew up, I graduated in 2000. I'm in that little micro generation between just after Gen X. And I grew up with Nintendo. Then it was Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64. Then it was the first bringing of computers. I was here before there was cell phones, and kind of my high school, college years, you got a phone with minutes on it. It was to call for a phone or emergency with your car. That was it. So I've been able to be on the edge of technology and understand it, but not, I grew up knowing what it's like not to have it. So I bring that perspective of those two worlds, still using ChatGPT, still on the cutting edge of technology, but also understanding what it was like before having it. And some people fall in the category of not being able to use it now, or completely immersed in it, not knowing what it's like to use a payphone and keep a quarter in your pocket at all times to call home, or do a collect call and make a quick message and hang up. So I hope I can bring a unique perspective to the world, and a unique perspective to you guys about being intentional and trying to get outside of the world of influence, the world of programming, the tell me vision. My living room doesn't have a television. Got rid of that when my kids were born. And getting rid of the video games has allowed me to do this, to create something new, to be a creator, to expand my character, to do something that I was afraid of, to grow my ability and grow that muscle of mental override, to overcome fear and just live more intentionally. And it's steps every day. Sometimes it comes in leaps and bounds. And I talk about how when preparedness meets opportunity, that's your luck. That's how you create luck. And when you expand your capacity to pounce on opportunity when it comes, because when they come, they come, and when they go, they go. You can have, new things in your life. So I know this is a bit of a buffet of information, a buffet of kind of who I am and what's going on. So with final, I just want to give the attitude of gratitude and say thank you to all, and thank you for subscribing. If you find value in this, let me know, comment below. Next time we do a live, I'll try and put a notice out so that you guys can join me. I'll give maybe a day's notice or something, some timeline, just as I figure out how this all works. And then it'd be great to see you guys comment and interact, and we'd be able to see something. So looking at the chat here, didn't get anything tonight, but that's how these first ones go. I can see there's someone watching there, so thank you, whoever that is. I bet it's a family member, so thank you. And we're just playing with the settings here just to kind of see how everything's going. Let's just see some of the settings here. So with that, I'll end this, and I'll say, let's do this. I'll say thank you. Oh, that was the share the link. I'll say thank you, and hope to see you on the next one. And what I hope to bring next time is just a deeper dive into a topic. So if you guys want to comment below in the comments, if there's any of the videos or the shorts that you guys saw that you wanted me to go deeper on, even if it's a bike review, I'd love to give a bike review on some of the bikes that I ride. I'd be glad to do that for you guys. But other than that, thanks very much. Thanks for tuning into Mental Override, where I help you learn how to overcome fear and live intentionally.